Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Digital Underground. On this wacky Wednesday, March 27th, 2024, and this crazy wrestling show starts right now. What's good, everybody? It's good. I'm F. Michael Fletcher alongside my good buddy Anthony Florio, and we are ready for another night of madness. Wednesday Night Madness, live on the air on YouTube and StreamYard.com tonight. You guys know how we do this. We start out with NXT, then to be followed by AEW Dynamite. So let's kick it off with NXT. Uh, Once again, last night on USA, we started out with the first with actually an in-ring match. First fight of the night, Sean Spears going one-on-one with Dijak, and Dijak winning the match in 13 minutes and 35 seconds. You could easily say fight of the night. This was basically, I gotta say this. This was, you could even make an argument that this is a you could even make a legit argument that this was an NXT takeover level type match. And the way that these two men went at it in that ring was absolutely amazing. I think you can't really say anything bad. This was, to me, 3 to 3.5 stars. I thought they did a really good job telling a story, two men really going at it, and just basically just taking it to each other, given there was nothing given, nothing taken. They both showed, fire, intensity, and they brought the fight. And that's exactly what you want to see. If you're Michael Bullock, man, I mean, if Bullock was here, I would tell him, hey, tell your boys to take a bow because they absolutely tore this place up, and it was amazing. So nothing more to say. Anthony Floyo is yours.
MF, while Hard Justice has often looked best in stipulation matches, this was a great showcase of his impressive athleticism. He shined in a babyface role for the first time in years. It may be temporary, but Dijak fits a crowd-pleasing role with his impressive varied offense. Sean Spears was a solid foil for him, pushing him to go bigger with each move. It was obvious that the two are veterans, especially on the NXT roster. The pacing built nicely throughout until everyone was behind the action. Right guy won, and NXT has to consider Dijak as an option to dethrone Obafemi if he stays in NXT past WrestleMania. Dijak wiped out Spears with a somersault senton to the floor, working as the surprise fan favorite in this early on. Joe Gacy pulled Sean Spears' steel chair under the ring during the match. Afterward, he hopped on the announce table to taunt Spears. Crowd was all in on this match as it hit its top gear, even giving a fight forever chant. How about that? So you get a fight forever chant, you know you did something right. And Joe Gacy threw Sean Spears' steel chair from the ceiling of the Performance Center as a taunt, but he almost hit Obafemi. So 3.5, 3 3/4 of a star. Fight of the night, no question about it. Be a man fight, no doubt about it. And right guy won, no question about it. And later on, we got some big news about what's next for Dijak. Let's just say it has to do with stand and deliver. So we'll get into that later. But for right now, MF, fight of the night, 3.5, 3 3/4. Set me up for the next match, if you would.
All right, next match that we had was Thea Hale versus Jasmine Nix. Thea Hale winning the match via submission with the Kimura lock in 3 minutes and 37 seconds. But after the match was over, there was a beatdown. Kiana James and Izzy Dame hit the ring to cause a 3-on-1 attack along with JC Jane. However, that got neutralized when Kalani Jordan and Fallon Henley hit the ring. So, Anthony, there's a very good chance we might be looking at a 6-1 tag either next week or possibly
Stand and deliver.
Maybe we see that as stand and deliver.
Maybe a kickoff show match, perhaps. Anyways, for this match here, nothing much. It was a 1.5 to 2-star effort. Thea Hale did some heavy lifting in this match as Jasmine Nix did not do much here with her offense. However, it was smoother than expected, leading to a finish that felt entirely appropriate. The way she intentionally snapped the arm in the Kimura showed how much Thea Hale has been pushed to hate JC Jane and Jasmine Nix. That attitude will hopefully extend to a heated singles match between Thea Hale and JC Jane soon. Immediately, it looks like a 6-woman tag is the plan. That could be a good way to get more women on the Stand and Deliver card. JC Jane distracted the referee and Thea Hale early, setting up a schoolboy pin that almost stole the win. And that was the only real observation here. But yeah, we're looking at a 6-woman tag for sure. If not on the next NXT, then Stand and Deliver for sure. That would be a good kickoff match, if I'm going to be honest with you. So,
Yeah, agreed.
but we'll have to wait and see what Shawn Michaels, Ava, and all them think about that. So, 1.5 to 2. That's the best I can go. So, MF, your thoughts?
Yeah, I give it 1.5. I thought they did a fine job. Jasmine is so green right now. You got to ease her in. But I will say this: Thea is the perfect person to have her work with. Thea is a lot more better. She's more refined, and she is getting better in the ring. Like, you can notice the leaps and bounds of what Thea Hale was from a year ago to where she is right now. She's looking amazing in the ring, and I'm more and more starting to get more on the side of Thea Hale. Like, I love the gimmick, I love the character. Um, we'll have to wait and see how it plays out, but so far so good. I think they did a really good job with it. So up to that point, yeah, so far so good. Next up we had was Lola Vice going one-on-one with Natalia. And Natalia doesn't need to win the match in 8 minutes and 38 seconds. Look, solid performance, good match. I could say about maybe 2. Um, I don't mind that Natalia got the win on this one. This was kind of more Lola getting a little too. She got too big for the bridges on this one. She kind of had a moment where it looks like she was going to win. She went a little too gun ho, and the veteran Natalia caught her on a surprise, and Lola kind of got burned at the end. Basically, Lola's got too aggressive, too assertive, thinking I got it, it's in the bag, and I'm going for the end, and it basically blew up in her face. Lola's overzealousness cost her the match. Nice little creative story. They got some time, which was actually not bad. They gave them almost 8.5 minutes. So 8:38 was the time of the fall. So props to Michaels and the crew for giving Lola a nice little spotlight. And I'm not mad that Natalia won this match. I think she deserves the victory. I mean, look, Natalia is without a doubt the consummate professional. Anytime you need her to be on, it doesn't matter if it's WWE, NXT, Raw, SmackDown, you name it, she's always there. That's why we love Natalia, the consummate professional of the group. And she got herself a big win here. Even though it was over Lola, look, like I said, Lola got too overzealous, Anthony, and unfortunately, Natalia, the crafty, wily veteran, exposed it and got herself the win on NXT last night.
Yeah, it was an open challenge. Lola threw out an open challenge, and that's how this all came about. And lo and behold, look who answered the call. Natalia. I mean, we haven't seen her in quite some time, but yeah. So I'll give this about 2.5, 2.75 of a star. While Natalia's appearance was a surprise, the Boat was not the most exciting opponent for Lola Vice. However, they hinted at something good in the future. Some of the transitions were impressive as Vice showed off her technical prowess. While this would have been a nice opportunity to get the breakout superstars some momentum, Lola Vice is not ready to defeat a main roster star like Natalia. If the plan is for Natalya to stay in NXT longer, though, she would be a valuable rival for the young roster. She could also team up with Carmen Petrovic to get her over in NXT. So Vice seamlessly reversed the sharpshooter into a heel hook, and that's really all there is to say there. That's the only real observation I had. So 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. So with that being said, MF, let's move on to our next match.
Next match on the fight card here. Hang on. There we go. We got it. All right. So next up was was it the big one? Is it Dragunov versus?
Yep.
Yes, it is. Okay. It was Channing Stacks Lorenzo. Of course, he had Adriano Rizzo in his corner, and he went up against the NXT champion Ilya Dragunov, the Mad Dragon himself. Dragunov wins the match in 5 minutes and 3 seconds. Anthony, give Stacks some give Stacks some credit for hanging in there. But at the end of the day, the Mad Dragon shows why he is the NXT champion, and major momentum for him as he's heading off to this to stand and deliver and to get a big showdown with the Don himself, Tony D'Angelo.
What was that? 5 minutes and how many seconds?
5:03.
5:03. All right. 2.5, another 2.5 stars. This was a short match, but impressively focused. Stacks and Dragunov told a strong story. Sold, by the way, Dragunov contorted his fingers throughout after the underboss laid in his stomps. The result was inevitable, but the two made a unique impression that should linger to stand and deliver. Tony D'Angelo has his target, potentially the way to break the NXT champion. With so many big matches set for stand and deliver, this is the least exciting Dragunov match in a while. But the Don and the Mad Dragon will make it well worth watching. Only Adriano Rizzo was in Stack's corner, but the Don and Luca Cusafino watched from the locker room. The underboss surprised Dragunov with an early clothesline and running low uppercut to take over the action. Afterward, the Don told the consigliere to invite the Mad Dragon to a special dinner next week. Okay, that ought to be interesting. So, nothing left to say here. Solid 2.5. So, MF, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll say about 2.25, 2.5. I agree with that. I thought they did a really good job with it. Great match, good solid fight. Really nothing more to add there. Hold on. Did we? Yes, we did. All right. We do have Michael Bullock on the show now. And I gotta have to catch him up on some stuff here. So let's see. Yep. All right. All right, Bullock. So come on in. We got some stuff we need to talk about here. We're gonna start it off with let's see. All right. So Dijak versus Sean Spears. Dijak winning in 13:35.
Yeah, this was definitely a solid match here to start it off. I mean, a match like this definitely was enjoyable. So definitely, I'll give it about 3.25 stars on it.
Okay. Next up we had was Thea Hale and Jasmine Nix. Thea Hale winning in 3:37.
1 star for the effort. I mean, it could have been better, but I thought they did a good enough job with this.
Next up, Lola Vice versus Natalya. Natalya winning in 8:38.
2.5 stars is my rating on it. I mean, this was a surprise to see Natalya on NXT and to basically give Lola Vice a worthy opponent here, and that was the case here. So it's yours, Fletch.
And now the last match, or the match that we were just talking about, Ilya Dragunov versus Stax Lorenzo and Ilya Dragunov winning in 5:03.
I'll give this about maybe 2 stars. I was expecting something better out of this, but it is what it is. So yeah, now I'm officially caught up.
Yes, you are. All right. So we'll reset to the top and then we'll go from there. Next up we have was Josh Briggs versus Duke Hudson. Josh Briggs winning the match in 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Hey, solid matchup, good battle. We saw this once before. They decided to run it back. And this time they did just as good as the first time around. I actually I got nothing bad to say. This was a solid fight. I'd say about 2.5. About 2.5 stars is my rating. So Anthony Florio, it's yours. Josh Briggs winning in 10:30.
Yeah, this is about 3 to 3.25 stars here. Fun clash of talented big men. They blasted each other with forearms and slams backed up by power and speed. The finish came out of nowhere, though, because the two were more focused on hitting the moves than ramping up the pace. This was not at the same level as Dijak's opener with Shawn Spears. Still, the right guy won again, and the expected triple threat has been, and we got it here. I said there were implications, and well, stand and deliver. We are going to have ourselves a three-way dance, a triple threat match for the NXT North American Championship. Obafemi defending against both Josh Briggs and Dijak. So, as I was saying, the right guy won again, and the expected triple threat has been announced. The three men will deliver, but Dijak will be the veteran that needs to guide the pace of the clash. Dijak joined the commentary team to talk up his case for a North American Championship match. Briggs was too focused on Dijak at ringside, allowing Duke Hudson to stay in control. And that's really all I can say there. So, a good 3 to 3.25 stars for me. So, Mr. NXT, Michael Bullock, your thoughts as Josh Briggs wins this match. But the bigger picture, stand and deliver, Obafemi, Josh Briggs, Dijak, triple threat, North American Championship, be a man fight, baby.
Oh yeah, I think this is definitely going to be a man fight, hands down on this one. So I'll give this 2.5 to 3 for the effort here. I mean, yeah, this wasn't like from what we saw with the first match, but all in all, I definitely still enjoy it. And yeah, Obafemi, now he's gonna have to really prove himself because now he's defending his title in a triple threat. So we'll see what he's made of. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Main event of NXT. It was the Wolf Dogs, Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker, going up against Akira Tozawa and Otis, representing the Alpha Academy. And yes, Maxine Dupree was at ringside. Winners of the bout in this non-title matchup, the NXT Tag Team Champions, the Wolf Dogs, Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin wins the match. I can't say successfully defend the titles because the titles were not on the line. My bad. 10 minutes and 9 seconds is the time of the fall. Anthony Florio, it is yours. After that, we had ourselves a Donnybrook brawl. Chaos at the CWC last night.
Absolutely. Once again, Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker deliver as a tag team. This was a phenomenal match where the Wolf Dogs showed out but still made their rivals look good, especially Otis. NXT has 3 interesting teams set up as potential opponents for the Wolf Dogs. All signs point to Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson emerging from that match as the challengers and eventual champions that stand and deliver. However, the Wolf Dogs will likely make work. The tag team division feels hot again, and hopefully that plays out in big matches next week. Gallows and Anderson told the Wolf Dogs backstage to get the job done tonight so that it was a traditional tag title match at Stand and Deliver. Alpha Academy took the early advantage after Otis threw Tozawa onto the Wolf Dogs outside. Otis flipped both Corbin and Breaker over his shoulders, then hit the worm on the former Lone Wolf for a near fall. Another 3 to 3 1/4 star match. So, Michael Bullock, Alpha Academy had an opportunity. They blew it. So it will not be a triple threat match. It will instead be a standard tag match. The Wolf Dogs versus either the Good Brothers, Axiom and Frazier, or the LWO.
Yeah, I think to me this was the right call here. I mean, it should be a standard tag team title match at Stand and Deliver. So to me, the right team went over here. So 3 to 3 1/4 stars as well. So yeah, I guess there's really nothing more for me to add on to it. So it is yours, Fletch.
With that said, we do indeed move on. Now it's time for the overall edit. I believe that was the last actual in-ring match. So yeah, it is overall review. So I'd say 3. Yeah, I'll give it the 3 to 3.5 stars, like you guys said. Really nothing more to add. Bullock, you lead off on overall review.
Yeah, I thought this was I thought it was a good show. I mean, it definitely could have been better in some areas, but we finally got an actual good edition of NXT. I mean, now they really need to deliver next week, because this is the final NXT before Stand and Deliver. So they really need to hit it home if people want to tune into it. But if they don't, then I think the fans will be more into just WrestleMania than Stand and Deliver. So we'll see how it plays out. So I'm gonna give this about a 7. So it is yours, Fletch.
Yeah, I'll give it 7. I thought it was a solid show. I thought they did a really good job with it. Finally, we got ourselves a really good NXT episode, and they did do a lot of things leading into Stand and Deliver. So I'm not really mad. I think, I could give them a nod of approval, say, well done, good job. I can't wait to see what they do next week because, like you said, Michael Bullock said it. Next week is the go home. This is it. Next week is WrestleMania week. You need to bring your A game if you're WWE. Raw, SmackDown, and NXT have to all be bangers. They need to wrap up whatever storylines that are left. They cannot leave any stone unturned because this is it. This is the final push, and all chips have to come to the table. All the matches are going to have to be done, locked, and loaded so that when we get to the weekend, it's going to be absolute madness because let me tell you, this is without a doubt going to be the biggest week in professional wrestling history, not just WWE, not just AEW, because they got a big Dynamite on Wednesday. They push Collision to Saturday night after the Final Four. So their Collision will not go down until Saturday night at 11:30 Eastern, whenever the second game ends. Reason behind that? TNT, like I said, we've been saying we were alluding to this. This is actually happening. Special coverage of the NCAA Men's Final Four. The game is going to be on TBS. However, special coverage will be done on TNT and True TV for the Final Four on Saturday night. So that's why Collision got bumped off. Normally it would have been at 8 o'clock. That would have put it right in the heart of WrestleMania. But they moved it to 11:30 when Mania will probably be far over, and then they'll start it. The reason behind it is because of the Final Four. Everybody was saying, "Oh, AEW scared of WrestleMania." No, 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 no. The reason why they're doing it is because the NCAA got top billing. Because this year, Michael Bullock alluded to it during our selection special. Go back if you want to watch that on Anthony Floyo's channel. He mentioned it. TBS was the official home of the Final Four. Turner Sports got the Final Four this year, not CBS, not the mothership. So what they did announce, and that this was confirmed, TNT was going to do special coverage on one side of the Final Four. True TV was going to do a special coverage on their end. If you want to see the traditional broadcast, you can watch it on TBS. And there is going to be a special thing for you fans on Max. You'll get something special. You might get everything. You might get the TNT feed, the True TV feed, or if you would just want to watch the Final Four on TBS, you'll get to see all of that. You get unprecedented coverage of the Final Four on Max for the first time ever. A streaming service got the Final Four, and they're showing it live as it happens. Can't wait. Excited. Because, like we said, it's WrestleMania week next week. 7 out of 10, Anthony Florio is yours. And then we'll get into AEW Dynamite.
Will do. 7 to 7. Excuse me. 7.5 for me. While this was not the most exciting show for NXT in the ring, the presentation building towards Stand and Deliver was fantastic. The multiple video packages sold the top angles for the NXT PLE. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams once more feels like the hottest angle in NXT and one of the best in all of WWE for WrestleMania weekend. Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker delivered a fantastic main event, while Dijak continues to deliver week in and week out as he did in the opener. Ilya Dragunov and Tony D'Angelo are moving a little slow in comparison, but the match with Channing Stacks Lorenzo was a quality sprint that set the target for the Don at Stand and Deliver. Overall, the goal was met on the road to Stand and Deliver, and the hype is clear for one of NXT's biggest cards ever assembled. Hopefully, the Go Home Show will continue that trend. And, oh, by the way, to any other weekly episodic wrestling show, whether it's NXT, AEW, Dynamite, SmackDown, Collision, or what have you, I suggest you go back and watch this past Monday Night's Raw and take accurate notes, because what we saw on Raw this past Monday night, that's the show that we need to have. Shows like that across the board next week. That's what we need. So I kind of wish, and you heard me say it, I kind of wish that the show we had Monday night, I kind of wish that was the Go Home Show, to be honest with you. And if it had been, it would have been the best Go Home Show ever.
Yeah.
But we still have one more. So, but SmackDown in this case has two. So we got 2 SmackDowns left, but Raw has one last show. Bullock's NXT has one last show. MF, you've got not one, but 2 opportunities. So we'll see what SmackDown does. But yes, and it's great that Collision will not be going head to head with WrestleMania. That's going to be a taped show, by the way.
Yes.
They're taping that show, I believe, next Thursday at the Worcester Central in Worcester, Mass. It's either after Dynamite or the next day. Either way, it's going to be a taped show. And not airing it with WrestleMania, smart. I mean, how many people are going to say, "Oh, I gotta watch Collision. Screw WrestleMania. I gotta watch Collision." No one.
Nobody.
Not me. Not MF. Not Bullock. And as much as our dear friends Mike and Brian Keenan and Silvera love AEW Collision, not even they would. So that's all I can say.
Practically the entire wrestling world is shutting down for WrestleMania. Like, that's how massive this.
And I'll say this: I mean, if there's anybody out there that says, "Oh, I'd rather watch a taped AEW Collision than WrestleMania," then you're just completely stupid as far as I'm concerned, because this is the showcase of the Immortals. This is the
40th
Super Bowl of
anniversary.
wrestling.
40th anniversary.
Exactly the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody out there would say they'd rather watch Collision than this.
Well,
That
nobody's going to have to now because of the move. So
Yeah, but this was
which is
definitely
good.
smart on the part of TBS to do this, or
Yes.
TNT, I should say.
I think what it is like I said, I don't think they had any. They
Nobody's
couldn't do
watching.
it. AEW had no. If AEW really wanted it to challenge WrestleMania,
They should have done it
maybe
live.
Tony Khan would have pulled the trigger and do it. But the problem is, this year of all years,
40th.
because of the 40th,
And the
they
build,
couldn't do it
and the
because TBS and Turner Sports is the exclusive home of the Final Four. If
and,
this
And the
and,
would have
build,
been,
like Wood said.
and
huh?
let's not forget another thing. The build to this year's WrestleMania has been absolutely spot on, especially when it comes to the main events of both night one and night two.
Yeah.
Especially this past Monday night.
And you could even say there's been elevated hype in other matches. I think Becky and Rhea really exploded on Monday night. I think we're still talking about that punch. That punch that Becky laid on Dominic. We're still talking about it. And
And
let me
social
tell
media.
you,
And
huh?
social media still
Yeah,
ablaze. Social media still ablaze. I mean, so many people on social media saying it was the best Monday Night Raw in a decade. And oh, by the way, that cage match site, the rating for Raw, highest rating ever.
yeah. So let's be realistic, guys. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah.
Triple H and the boys knew exactly how to play this. They had the hype, they had the excitement. And the thing is, there was a moment where they didn't even let the media or the trades or the dirt sheets know The Rock was going to show up. They kept that under wraps,
How they
and
did is beyond me.
they snuck it through the back door, and it worked. They got it.
No dirt
They
sheets, no
nailed
social
it.
media, nothing.
Yeah.
We got hoodwinked, as you would say, MF. We got hoodwinked, all of us.
And the thing is that in this day and age of social media, of everybody wanting to know every little damn thing about wrestling, like we've been saying today, I hate to say it, photos have leaked out at the Lincoln Financial Field. They're starting to set up the staging for WrestleMania. We found out today that the trucks are there. The construction has started. It's begun. They've already started with a little bit of the staging, and they're starting with the steel. What's gonna be the canopy that's gonna be over the ring with the lighting, with everything. And the thing is, I even mentioned this to Anthony Florio. It's going to be a lot more easier for these photos to get leaked out this year, unlike last year at because of the fact that it's an outdoor stadium.
Open air.
It is wide open. So you could get a drone in there easily if you wanted to. It looks like somebody who probably works for Lincoln Financial Field snuck in and started recording and started taking photos, started taking stuff, and it's like, okay, send. Uh-oh.
Yeah. And a quick update on that. Yesterday, they started the construction yesterday, MF, and from what I read, from what I was told, and And according to this to a tweet I saw earlier on X, it said that there may be a delay there's going to be a delay in construction tomorrow because we're getting nasty weather tomorrow. We're getting washout.
As a matter of fact,
in the Friday too.
And as a matter of fact, just for you folks know, tomorrow was supposed to be the Atlanta Braves versus the Philadelphia Phillies. Not happening. Already been rained out. Already got called off. So there's no opening day for the Braves and for the Phillies. We got to wait till Friday to start our regular season because they told
and there's another game that's been postponed as well. I think it's the Mets.
The Mets game was also called off because of the rain as well. Yes, the Mets were supposed to have their home opener at Citi Field, and that game's off the table. Yes.
Oh damn.
Yeah. So in that case, it's
me and
Florio's Yankees and my Red Sox. So they'll be starting their season on time.
Bullock's Red Sox against the Mariners, and my Yankees. We got the Astros. Damn, man. Ugh.
Yep, you got. What a way to start the season! You get the pesky Astros once again in Houston. It's Yankees versus Astros. What's become, I'll openly admit it,
a one-sided affair.
A bigger rivalry than the Red Sox and the Yankees. I know. I just said something blasphemous, but let's be realistic. The Yankees versus Red Sox is not the same rivalry that it's been in the last few years.
I'll even admit it. I agree too. I mean, but the thing is, it's still. There's still the great. There's still great rivals. Especially with the history.
I'm not saying that.
Even though lately,
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But the level of play, the way the teams are playing in the last few years, I'm sorry, Michael Bullock. I hate to say this. Yankees are on the rise. The Red Sox are slowly. They're down at the bottom. We'll get into it. We'll get into it tomorrow night. We'll get into it because we got a special TXN Sports World. We got a baseball preview. I'll get into more details. Trust me.
We'll address the docket for TXN Sports for Friday night's TXN Sports World at the end of the show.
Yeah, Fletch will talk about his Braves. Florio will talk about his Yankees, and I will, of course, will get into my team. Even though right now, I just by
at least
my
you got
tone,
the Celtics and the Bruins, Bullock.
Yeah,
at least we got them, but you never know. Stranger things have happened in the past.
Very true.
So it's not looking good for my team, but you never know.
Yeah, agreed.
You never know.
All right.
So
let's get into the AEW quickly. Yeah, and we'll start out with AEW Dynamite that was held tonight from Quebec City, Canada. At the center Videotron in Quebec City. And we started out with a banger, man. This is a match you would have probably seen at New Japan if you really did. But this one we got on the house for free on TV. Shibata going one-on-one with Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay winning the match in 18 minutes, 55 seconds, 4.5 stars. Holy freaking crap, this was amazing. I think AEW got the memo. We were talking about how Raw was so amazing, and AEW needed to step up their game. I think this was Tony Khan and the boys saying, all right, challenge accepted. What a banger to start out. And we were like, whoa. AEW was going for broke here tonight, and they were not wasting time. This was an amazing fight, thrilling matchup. Body of work was awesome. Up and down this match went. There was really nothing bad about this fight. This was a pay-per-view quality match, and we almost got 20 minutes. That's how good this was. 4.5 stars. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Yes, indeed. They played it safe for the first few minutes. They had some nice technical exchanges, but never tried to go too quickly. They did a good job progressively picking up the pace as they began and integrating bigger moves into the bout. They also made this feel like it went from a standard exhibition to a personal battle. Both men gave the fans in attendance their money's worth with this one. Even the one time they made a noticeable mistake, Shibata made it look intentional by transitioning into a submission. Even the announcer sounded surprised by how good this was at times. After both men came close to winning several times, Will Ospreay got the win with a hidden blade. He bowed to show respect, and so did Shibata. Ospreay's AEW entrance is great. There's crowd participation, and it feels unique to him. The reaction from Ospreay when he ducked a kick was hilarious. Few people can no-sell a stiff chop as convincingly as Shibata. And Ospreay did a lot of good selling to make Shibata look like a badass. I'm with UMF on this rating, 4.5 stars. Even though the outcome was never in doubt, we all knew Ospreay was going to go over here. So, not much more to say here. 4.5 for me as well. Michael Bullock, another notch on the belt for Will Ospreay as he gets ready to take on Bryan Danielson at the Dynasty pay-per-view next month in St. Louis. And what I'm going to go on the record and call an early match of the year candidate for sure.
Oh, this is definitely an early match of the year candidate. I mean, when you got the caliber of Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson, oh, this is going to be an early candidate for match of the year. I mean, no doubt about it. So, but man, this was a pay-per-view quality match here to I mean, now this is how you start off a Dynamite with a match like this. And like you said, I think Dynamite got the memo from Monday Night Raw. I mean, it's almost like they literally threw out the challenge and say, "Hey, let's see if you guys can top this." And I think they got the memo and started off with a match like this, 4.5 stars. I mean, man, oh man, this was any other. If this was on a pay-per-view, this could easily be the fight of the night, hands down. But maybe I think this could be the fight of the night, or you know what? I'll even say it. This is the fight of the night. I mean, you get almost 20 minutes with these two. Man, oh man, this was awesome. So yeah, 4.5 stars. So, and that's how great this match was, bruv. So it's yours, Fletch.
I mean, you cannot say anything bad about this. This was as good as you're going to get, and yeah, I agree. Um, it was as good as you could get. It was amazing. The body of work alone, you could say was top notch. So next up we had was this was the AEW Tag Team Tournament matchup, quarterfinal match, and it was the Young Bucks going up against the Private Party. Young Bucks winning the match in 13 minutes and 30 seconds. They've advanced to the semifinals. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. The last time these two teams met in a tag team tournament, only the second episode of AEW Dynamite, October 9th of 2019 at Boston University's Agganis Arena. Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy scored an upset win over Nicholas and Matthew Jackson. So the Bucks were looking to make sure this was not a repeat performance. This match had a lot of great spots, but it fell into the trap a lot of AEW tag matches fall into. They often relied too much on double team spots to the point that it felt like tags were meaningless after a certain point. Several near falls were teased to make it look like Private Party may win again before Quinn missed the 630. It was taken down by a dirty-looking EVP trigger. 3.5, teetering on 3 3/4 of a star for this. They also changed. Okay, let's see. The double flip into super kicks from Private Party was a fun spot. This bout had one of the best executions of Gin and Juice by Private Party, and the Bucks screwed up the EVP trigger a bit. And a special observation, this one's just for you, Michael Bullock, because Isaiah Cassidy did one of Michael Bullock's favorite moves during this match, the acai moonsault. So, and I know how much Michael Bullock loves his acai moonsaults. It's his second favorite move next to the tope con hilo, of course. But nonetheless, all kidding aside, 3.5 to 3.75 of a star. No surprise with the outcome. So Matthew and Nicholas Jackson advance. They move on to the next round, where they will face either Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta, or the Mike Bennett and Matt Taven of the Undisputed Kingdom. And we'll get into that a little bit later on. So 3.5, 3.75 for this. So Michael Bullock, no big surprise, as the Young Bucks get their win back from well over 4 years ago on that second ever episode of Dynamite when the Private Party stole it from them.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely got some payback here. So I'll give this 3.25 to 3.5 stars as well. I mean, a solid match here. And yeah, I mean, now the Young Bucks do move on to the semifinals of the tournament. So now it's going to be, now we got to wait and see who they will be facing in the semifinals. So there's nothing more to add to it. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, you're right. I say about 3.5 stars. I thought they did a really good job. So we do move on. This was a big one. This was highly anticipated, as it was a fatal 4-way where the winner gets a shot at the TBS title at AEW Dynasty, as it was Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, Sky Blue, and Anna Jay, the winner of the bout. In 9 minutes and 50 seconds, it was Willow Nightingale. She gets the title shot. She will get to fight Julia Hart at Dynasty for the title, for the TBS title. But one bit of interesting news out of this: guess who was the special guest commentator for this bout, folks? The CEO herself, Mercedes Moné. And she had a few choice words about Willow Nightingale, which is valid. I'll get into why in just a little bit. Michael Bullock, it's yours first.
What was the time of the fall?
9:50.
All right. Yeah, I mean, this was a solid match here. I'll give this about 3 stars. I mean, yeah, I mean, Willow Nightingale now earns the opportunity to face Julia Hart for the TBS Championship at Dynasty. And, well, let's just say Julia Hart, she got the first blow in when she attacked Willow Nightingale after the match. And also, I mean, she had a little stare down with Mercedes Moné. So she's not only got to deal with Willow Nightingale, but it looks like she also has her eyes on Mercedes Moné. So I think we're looking at the next challenger after Willow Nightingale. So we'll have to wait and see with that. So 3 stars for me. So Fletch, I mean, yes, Julia Hart has to deal with Willow Nightingale, but it seems like she has her eyes on someone else as of right now.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true, like 100%, because of the fact that now I'm gonna go a little knowledge. I'm gonna go a little professional mode of myself, because I followed it.
Hold on a second, Fletch. Before you do, and I gotta say this: Julia Hart, I think overlooking Willow Nightingale, I think could be a huge mistake.
I don't think she's overlooking her. I don't think so. I disagree with that, Michael Bullock. I think she knows Willow's dangerous, and Mercedes said it on commentary. She may not have any respect or any love for Willow Nightingale, but the thing is that accidentally, Willow was the reason why Mercedes got hurt in New Japan. She was defending the title. She was going for the strong title, the women's strong title for New Japan. That would have been, you could say, the equivalent of the United States title in New Japan. And during that match, it was a fatal 4-way, and Willow injured Mercedes, injured her leg, and knocked her out of the match. It was an accidental, but as you can tell, the storyline is being portrayed that Mercedes is definitely holding a grudge against Willow Nightingale, thinking that was not an accident. He did deliberately injure my leg and cost me the shot at the title. So
yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, we think it's an accident, but don't tell that to Mercedes Moné.
And if you actually look at the footage, if you actually look at the match and saw the match back, you could even make an argument that maybe Mercedes had a point that the injury looked wicked bad. But in hindsight, it didn't look like, I feel like it was an accident. It didn't look that bad, per se. But obviously, me and her probably will not see eye to eye on this. Even though I am more of the guy who saw the match. Unfortunately, Anthony, you haven't seen it. Neither do you, Michael. But I saw this as it happened.
But judging by the way you saw it, I mean, I think it's an accident. But like I said, don't tell that to Mercedes Moné because she probably would disagree with all three of us.
Yeah, because she basically said it on commentary, and she's making no bones about it. She does not like Willow, and trust me, the animosity may be real between these two, because Willow could probably say, "Look, this was a couple of years ago. Get over it. Look, I'm sorry for what happened, but this is wrestling. Things like this happen. Injuries happen. Everything else, this is what it is." Mercedes screw that. You deliberately injured me. You deliberately cost me an opportunity for the title.
Yeah, who's going to tell that to Mercedes
You're going to have to settle it in the ring.
Who's going to tell that to Mercedes Moné? I certainly as hell ain't going to do it.
We'll see.
Because I certainly don't want to get on her bad side, especially since she is a New Englander, for gosh sakes.
Yep. Yeah, she's from Boston. She's a Beantown girl. You heard the love. You heard the reaction when she came out. She got it. We know it. This is her. Boston's her territory. We know that. So nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
Alrighty. Just give me 1 second here. All right. Mercedes Moné joined the commentary team to watch this number one contender's fatal 4-way with Statlander, Nightingale, Jay, and Blue. This match was high energy right from the jump and gave all four competitors individual moments to stand out, even during the picture-in-picture break. Moné seemed most focused on Statlander and Nightingale as she watched from the table, which may have telegraphed the outcome a bit. As soon as it was over, Julia Hart attacked Willow from behind with the title belt. Decent match with a couple of standout moments, but it had some pacing issues in certain areas that kept it from being as exciting as it could be. Nightingale winning was definitely the right call. Blue hit a nice kick to Statlander on the apron. There was a weird moment when Anna Jay tried to pin Chris Statlander and Sky Blue at the same time, but Stat's shoulders were not down. So she tried to pull a Roman Reigns from WrestleMania 37, basically, but it didn't work. So 3-3, another 3-3.25 on this one. So with that being said, we move on to the second of our tag team tournament matches.
Yes, it was. It's the Kingdom. Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. They went up against members of the Best Friends, Trent Beretta and Orange Cassidy. And it was Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta, the Best Friends. They advance. They move on to the semifinals. They will face off with the Young Bucks when we get there. So I believe Michael. No, or it doesn't reset back to me. Let me see. No, it resets back to me. So solid match. I'll give this about 2.5 to 3. And yeah, I mean, I think the only thing I was more surprised about was the outcome. I actually thought the Kingdom was going to win this. I actually thought Taven and Mike Bennett were going to win it. Obviously, they're part of that undisputed kingdom, and I really thought that they're going to start pushing the undisputed kingdom to try to get all the gold. Obviously, Roderick Strong's got a belt. I really thought the kingdom was going to be the favorites to win the tournament, and they went the wrong way on that one. So Best Friends wins it. I'm not mad with that. You gotta give the people what they want, and if they want the Best Friends, I'm not wrong. I'm not gonna be mad about that either. I like the Best Friends. They're pretty cool. So nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, 2.5 to 3 for me, as the Best Friends wins in 9:37.
Yeah, it's about 2.5 to 3. Even though this match had plenty of moments when it was easy to forget who was legal, just like we saw during the other tournament match, it felt less jarring in this match. It's hard to explain why, but it may be that they just managed those spots in their time better. Roddy and Chuck Taylor both got involved, but it was Beretta and Cassidy who were able to get the win to advance in the tournament. They will now face the Young Bucks in that semifinal. Orange Cassidy exploding out of the gate to go after Matt Taven was a nice change of pace. And that's the only, noticeable thing I had here. MF, I did not have the Kingdom winning this tournament. If I'm going to be honest with you, the Young Bucks are going to win this tournament. I'm telling you that right now. The Young Bucks are going to, I believe, are ultimately going to become the next AEW Tag Team Champions after they did the honors for Sting and Darby as part of Sting's farewell at Revolution earlier this month. So, I would not at all be surprised if they put the belt on the Young Bucks. I would not. So, but you never know. Stranger things have happened, like Bullock said. So we'll see. But 2.5 to 3, I agree with the rating. It's about a 3-star or so match. So solid 3 for me. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, Orange Cassidy, and Trent Beretta will now face the Young Bucks in the semifinals to be determined. We don't know when that match will take place as of yet.
Yeah, 2.5 to 3 for me as well. I mean, this was again another solid match here. I mean, yeah, I really thought the Undisputed Kingdom were gonna win this. I mean, because of the goal set by Adam Cole with getting all the belts from AEW. I mean, with Roderick Strong winning the international championship. I mean, yes, Taven and Bennett do have the Ring of Honor tag team titles, but of course Wardlow doesn't have anything. So, and I'm sure as of right now, Adam Cole is probably not happy with this outcome, and he's probably going to give Taven and Bennett the same thing that that Wardlow had to get for failing with what he had to do. So and I'm with you. I think the Bucks right now are going to be the favorites to win the titles. So, but you never know. We'll wait and see. So, 2.5 to 3. So let's move on, Fletch.
Yeah, 2.5 to 3, no doubt. All right, main event: Swerve Strickland versus against Joshake Takeshita, where the winner becomes the number 1 contender for the AEW World Title. It was Swerve Strickland winning the match. 19 minutes, 40 seconds. Anthony Florio, my goodness, what a match. And right man won. Strickland gets the shot at the gold.
It's not often I say this, MF, but co-fight of the night here. This was another 4.5, teetering on 4 3/4 of a star. These are two guys who have built reputations in AEW for putting on great matches every time they come through the tunnel. so there were high expectations on them leading into tonight. Both competitors did an admirable job making this an entertaining main event, but at the same time, it was going to be almost impossible for anyone to top what we saw between Ospreay and Shibata, but they went very close. They were very close. They went into overtime as Takeshita kicked out of a swerve stomp, but he was unable to kick out of big pressure. Samoa Joe gave a quick interview backstage as Strickland celebrated in the ring. Prince Nana's dance is always going to be fun. I don't care what anybody says. The way they used the handshake as their initial lockup was unique. Swerve tried to do a flip over the top rope into a Hurricanrana, but he appeared to take it too slow and almost didn't complete the rotation. The DDT Swerve hit in the corner was wild. The way Takeshita hit the mat was nuts. Actually, I'm going to backtrack a little bit here. I'm going to call this the second best fight of the night. I'm going to give this 4.25 to 4.5 stars, but this was just as great. There was something about that Ospreay and Shibata match that I thought was just a smidgen better, but this was right up there with it, though. So outcome never in doubt. No surprise here. I had a feeling Swerve was going to win, and at Dynasty, the Dynasty pay-per-view, we got our main event, boys. Samoa Joe to defend the AEW World Heavyweight Championship against Swerve Strickland, and I'm going on the record right here and right now, Swerve's winning the title. I'm telling you, book it. Strap him. He's ready. So, not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, outcome never in doubt, but damn it to hell, what a match. 4.25, 4.5 stars, and now Swerve, one-on-one with Samoa Joe. He does not have to worry about Hangman Adam Page. He's got Joe all to himself, and I'm telling you, man, unless something out of the ordinary happens, I believe in my heart of hearts that come April 21 in St. Louis, Swerve Strickland is going to be the next AEW World Heavyweight Champion. He's ready.
I'm with you. I mean, I think it's going to happen because this man's worked his ass off to get this opportunity, and he's due for a world title, and I think this is the time. So, but I'm going to call this the co-fight of the night. I mean, it's just tough to have to pick one over the other when it comes to which match was better. I mean, Ospreay and Shibata was good, but this one here was also really good as well. So, yeah, the outcome was never in doubt. This was the right call here, and now he gets that opportunity. And like I said, I think he's winning that belt. So, 4.5 stars, co-fight of the night. So, Fletch, as I give it to you, I got one question for you and Florio. Whose house?
Swerve's house.
No doubts about it, boys. This was as good as it got. It was an amazing main event. 4.5 stars, no doubt about it. There's really nothing more to add here, so let's just dive right on in. Michael Bullock, you lead off on the overall review.
I'll tell you what, guys. I mean, remember what you said, Florio, when that Monday Night Raw fired the shot, basically saying, "All right, AEW, try to top this."
Yep.
I mean, I think they came close. I mean, I still think Raw was better, but this was definitely close to topping it. So I'm going to give this about 8.5 to 9 on this one. I mean, when you got a co-fight of the night I mean, we didn't have one bad fight at all on this show. I mean, everything was solid to good to great on this. So, yeah, AEW answered the challenge from Monday Night Raw, and I think they delivered. I still thought Raw was better, but by golly, Dynamite did give them a run for it. So 8.5 to 9. You know what? Screw the 8.5. I'm calling it a 9. So it's yours, Fletch.
You know what? I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna go with the 9. I'm gonna go 8.5. You were right, Bullock. You had it right the first time around. This was a good show. This was a very good show. Solid. All the actions was great. All the body of work was fine. Anthony, you threw the gauntlet at everybody, and AEW came pretty damn close to that gauntlet, and they almost shoved it right back in your face. Like, oh yeah, was that better than Raw? They were pretty damn close. That it was that good. It was an excellent episode, no doubt about it. AEW, they're clicking on all cylinders now. You starting to notice that they're starting to, they've turned it around. Whatever they may be, whatever it was that was hampering or causing problems or just giving them like this little bit of a bugaboo, they're not having it now. AEW is clicking on all cylinders and they're looking good. So, yeah, this was as good as you could have gotten. Nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
8.5 to 9 as well. I'm with MF on this one. Tonight's Dynamite continued the pattern of strong in-ring performances, but one match stood out the most. Will Ospreay and Shibata kicked off the show with a match that would have felt right at home on any pay-per-view. They did not hold back and delivered over 20 minutes of some of the best pro wrestling you will see all week, maybe all year. The other 4 matches all held advanced storylines or tournament placement, but the only bout that came close to matching the opener for excitement was the main event. Swerve Strickland is on another level and continues to make every crowd love him. He and Samoa Joe will sign the contract for their title bout next week. Contract signing. Michael Bullock, JBL. What does that mean?
Want to know what that means? It ain't going to end well.
Damn right it ain't. But it sounds like the AEW champion may have more in store for the number 1 contender. 8.5 to 9. There's no doubt about that. So Bullock started that, right?
Yep.
All right, Bullock started it. So with that being said, MF, let's put the bow on it and set up the future content, exciting future content coming up.
Well, we do have the future content that's starting out tomorrow night. Remember, it's a Thursday night episode that we're doing here, guys. So, or actually, no next
Friday.
week. All right. So yeah, this is back. We're back to Friday.
Yeah.
We got TXN Sports World. We actually have a show, ladies and gentlemen. So,
yes.
Anthony Flayo, set it up.
Will do. Yes, for the first time, can you believe this? Since February 16th, the last time we had a straight up TXN Sports World show. And yeah, here's what we got. We are gonna lead it off with our preview of the 2024 Major League Baseball season. Our division by division preview, like we always do, and then we will also preview week 1 of the UFL. Yes, the UFL starts on Saturday. Headlined, the very first game will be the headline game of the week, no question about it, as it will be MF's team, the back-to-back USFL champion Birmingham Stallions, squaring off against the XFL champion Arlington Renegades. And we'll get into the other 3 games as well. And in our main event, it will be our continuing coverage of the NCAA tournament. Maybe if all goes well, maybe we may have bonus commentary. Maybe we may not. I don't know. But we'll definitely, get you up to date on the coverage of that. And that's Friday nights. So TXN Sports World, 10:30, right?
Yes.
Okay. So 10:30 Friday night. Tone 25, be there or be square. First TXN Sports World show in over a month. So looking forward to bringing that to you. So with that being said, MF, what's after that?
Then after that, on Saturday is Cerebral Smack Talk, where we will literally be running and getting closer to the biggest event of the year, as we'll be doing SmackDown Live. We also might have one other factor coming up. Are we doing Collision too? I would venture possibly not, or well, we'll see. We'll get into it, folks. But one thing's for sure, hang on tight. It's going to be a wild ride, regardless. And yeah, and then Monday night we do it all over again, and this time it's for real. It's WrestleMania week. The biggest and greatest wrestling shows. This is going to be the biggest hype that we've ever had going into WrestleMania. So with that said, thank you, Anthony Flair. Thank you, Michael Bullock. Thank you guys as always. Like the video, leave a comment, Share with all your friends on all the social media platforms. Be a friend, tell a friend, say something nice. You can actually change their life. Until Friday night for TXN Sports World, goodbye, everybody. So long for now. We'll see you all on Friday.